Hi, this is Linda with CreativePLR.com, and today I'm in Canva, and I'm going to show you an infographic that I'm creating, and hopefully inspire you to get some of your PLR off the hard drive and actually working for you. So what do we do with infographics? We can use them on our blog posts. We can use them in social media, depending on the ratio that you use from width to length. If you have a 2:3 ratio, that is Pinterest's favorite ratio. Now, if you don't have that exact 2:3, you can still use it, but they may trim off a piece. I've never known them to trim off anything, but they say they can. You can use it for product covers. You can include it as part of a product. People could print these out if you gave them the steps to creating a website. People would be likely to print that out, put it in a binder, or put it on the wall somewhere. You could print them out and put them in a binder. You could include them with the product on a page. 7 steps to healthy eating would go great in a meal planner, and it would be beautiful besides. So you can do a variety of things with them, and whenever you take a course from someone or you hear someone speak, they're always talking about repurposing your PLR, repurposing your content. And one of the things they always mention is infographics, but I don't see a lot of people doing it. So this may, we may start a trend here with everybody doing it, and you can make a whole bunch. It takes less than 10 minutes. I've done them in PowerPoint. Works much better in Canva. They're much prettier. So let me show you. I've got a canvas here. I'm working on an 800 by 1400 pixel. 800 by 1200 would be my 2:3 Pinterest ratio. And usually I do them vertical. I'm just a linear person. When I do things in steps, I go from top down. It doesn't have to be. You can do them as a square and do them in a circular fashion. You could do them a landscape or a horizontal layout. You could do them any way you want. Let's look at some elements, and let me show you. Let's see. So I pulled this up in Canva. This is a picture. It's not a template that you can type on, but you could create something similar if you wanted a horizontal infographic or some kind of design that's horizontal. That might work better on a blog post, but I see a lot of blog posts that use Pinterest size pens in their blog posts so that you can go and, when you hover over it, it comes up with a Pinterest, pen, and you can pin it. So you can save that. So what I did was, I'm calling this my 4 favorite ways to repurpose PLR. And so because I'm calling it 4 ways, I need 4 sections. And I used this rounded area, but you don't have to. You could use any shape that you want that makes you happy. So let's look at shapes. In any of these shapes, I could swap out this banner and I could put in this blobby shape. I don't know why it wants to make everything dark purple today. Maybe it's reading my mind. Now, this is going to be a little bit harder to fit in the area because it's rounder. But, if you're determined like I am, you can make anything fit. And I do have them numbered so people know. You wouldn't have to number them. It's a small number and people could see, well, there's obviously 4 on there. If you're doing things in steps where they have to go in steps, then I would suggest that you actually put them, you number them so they are in order. I'm going to use that color picker and I want to make it a little bit lighter. Yeah. And then just scoot things over so you could use that like cloud. You could use this rounded. You could use the call outs. That would be kind of fun. You could use any of these as long as you had 4. They don't have to be linear. I'm just a linear person. So, and then when you're done with them, you save them as PNG. You could also save them as PowerPoint. So if you wanted to include them in a planner or journal, you already have them in a PowerPoint file, and you could save them as a PowerPoint template. The only suggestions I would have is you want to make it visually attractive. So right now I have my 4 sections and I had typed in what I wanted to say. And this is the beauty of an infographic. So if I create a 2,100 word blog post about my favorite ways to repurpose PLR, that would take me a long time to do, and yet this visual is going to give you the same information, maybe not as much detail, but it gives you the same basic information. So it's like the Reader's Digest version of that blog post. I would just pretty it up with some elements, and I would say I would just type this in and get some kind of information and get a picture. Now, unless I'm going to sell this, it's okay if I use Pro Visuals. And I'm not going to sell it. I'm going to use it for my personal use. And we'll say challenge. Oh, there's just the word challenge. I kind of like that. But I've got to change that. Let me change it to that. And then we'll have a journal. And then we'll have social media. And there you go. Okay, easy to do in Canva. It's easy to do. PicMonkey. There are some software tools that's all they do is they make infographics, and you can look at a whole variety of them, and you're going to be drawn to one type or another. I tend to do things in steps. I'm used to teaching people, do step 1 first, do this as step 2, this is step 3. And I think that's just, I've gotten used to doing that, after 20 years in the classroom, and I'm used to telling people to do things in steps. This is not necessarily steps. It's just my 4 ways, and doesn't mean that it's my 4th least favorite way is social media. They're all equal. Although if I had to choose, I'd say blog posts, and lately challenges are my favorite. But I'm quickly becoming convinced that journals and planners are the way to go. So you can do a variety of ways. Canva has a whole bunch of templates. And if you look at infographics, you can see all of these. They have a whole bunch of different designs that you can use. Or you could go back to the front and look for infographics under designs, and you can see a variety of there too. You don't have to start from scratch. You can actually take one and repurpose it, since we're talking about repurposing today. Okay, I hope this has been helpful and you can get that PLR out and start using it for something.